I like to take people to, Trails End Line.
Yeah, that's a four-serve service.
And you're not far from my house.
Oh,
And it's got two
I'm
slides.
sure your house will be cheaper than what they charge at Trails End Line.
I don't know.
Slides.
I'll find out. It'll just be a hair cheaper than you.
They don't have a, they don't have
Yeah, we got 2,200 left. That's after giving a bunch away.
I'm not sure. I have to run one about the invoice and see what.
no, they've got
It's about $2.47, so that's why I'm saying.
I think they're probably looking more replication and those are, what do you call them?
Yeah.
I think about five.
Before we start messing, that ain't our little
Okay.
So I don't think for any shoulder mediation. No. Yeah. Yeah, so therefore, nothing for a long period other than day.
All right. Father, we come to you right now. We want to just give you praise, God, for who you are and what you do for us, Lord. It's just a beautiful place to live in this part of the state, Lord, and it's just a wonderful life that you've given us, God. And I just thank you so much. I ask that you be with the meeting, God. Give us wisdom that can only come from you, Lord, and I just ask that you be with us. And Lord, most of all, we thank you for your Son that came and died and so that we might have salvation and eternal life, God. But right now, we just ask you to lay your hand upon us and be with us. And we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
At this time, I'll call the meeting to order, and Terry, would you do the roll call?
Commissioner Feller? Here. Commissioner Miller?
Here.
Commissioner Foster?
Here.
Commissioner Toller?
Here.
Commissioner Hartline?
Yes, sir. That was his first. That's why I said.
First thing on the agenda is the annual reorganization of the Union County Board of Commissioners. And at this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to the County Clerk, Terry Barker.
At this time, we will take nominations for chairman of county commissioners. Do I have any nominations?
Nominate Bobby Toller. Junior. Right?
Yes.
Junior. Who's second? Mac.
Commissioner Feller?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster?
Yes.
Commissioner Toller?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartline?
Yes, sir.
Motion votes tonight.
And you want to take this?
Okay, any other nominations? Okay, at this time, we will vote yea or nay. Commissioner Feller?
Yeah.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster?
Yes.
Commissioner Toller?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartline?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Toller's elected as chairman for the next year, and I turn the meeting back over to him.
Okay. Pardon?
Thank you. I think you still have been for your support. At this time, I'll open up nominations for vice chairman.
Nominate Max Miller.
Second. Any other nominations?
Commissioner Feller?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster?
Yes.
Commissioner Toller?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartline?
Yes, sir.
Vote.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster?
Yes.
Commissioner Toller?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartline?
Yes, sir.
Nice, you did anything else?
Thank you.
everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the previous meeting?
Yes. Yeah, okay. They were no on Monday or Tuesday.
Oh, there you go. Yes, yeah, I do.
It wasn't in what we received last night.
Everybody had a chance to look at the minutes, do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we approve as written.
Second. Commissioner Feller?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster?
Yes.
Commissioner Fowler? Commissioner Hartline?
Yes, sir.
Next on the agenda is village minutes.
Congratulations, both of you. We just got one building permit this morning. It's for Emily Hartsock, 0528033930. It's for a shed in a previously subdivided area, no floodplain issue. It's recommended for approval. Note that this is a county employee.
I make a motion, we approve the permit.
Second.
Commissioner Feller?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster?
Yes.
Commissioner Fowler?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartline?
Yes, sir.
Since you're here, let's do the resolution on setting the salary.
Okay. For Alex's benefit, I'm going to explain this a little bit. Union County participates in the state county engineering program, and the county engineer's salary is set by IDOT. They give a guidance, and the county, and they will, if the county pays at least that amount, the state will reimburse half of the county engineer's salary. Okay? And then the other half of the salary is paid from the motor fuel tax allotments to the county. Pretty clear? Okay. And we have to, once, I'm in a 6-year appointment, okay? I'm in the 3rd year of that appointment. I got 3 years left. And once a year, we have to set the salary by resolution. So that's what we're doing right now. And the resolution reads, and then Tyler's drafted this and made all changes for us. Resolution setting the salary of the county engineers, whereas the county has sufficient surface transportation program funds available and desires to use a portion of said funds to pay a portion of the county engineer's salary, and whereas the county desires to appropriate funds for the purpose of payment of the county engineer's salary and expenses beginning December 1st, 2017 and ending November 30th, 2018. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the County of Union, Illinois, as follows: appropriate from the county share of motor fuel tax funds the sum of $107,372.75 for salary and $5,000 for expenses, and the sum of $8,220 for the payment of the county engineer's health insurance. A side note here for Alex's benefit again, I don't take the health insurance because my wife is a state employee and I'm on her program, so there's no cost to the county for my health insurance. Said appropriation includes $120,592.75 for the county motor fuel tax funds. That's just an accumulation of all 3 of those numbers. Now, therefore, or be it therefore resolved, the county hereby authorizes a sum of $53,686.37 of their surface transportation program funds to be made available to the Illinois Department of Transportation for the state's use in exchange for the equal amount of state funds. The state funds equal 50% of the county engineer's salary, passed and approved by the Board of Commissioners. So blah, blah, blah. Any questions?
Yes, the 8,200 is included in that, and then
That
But
is,
you don't take it.
but I don't take it. That's just in there just in case something would happen, she'd lose her job, lose her health insurance. Then the resolution has already been passed so that I could go back on the county's health insurance.
Okay, but that money is not given you, that stays.
That stays in there.
Got it. Okay.
You might also.
Same way with the $5,000 for expenses. I usually use 1,000 of that for travel.
Okay, so
Each time.
it just for
It's
budgeting
It's
purposes.
budgeting purposes.
Okay,
You might also explain that, you know, that you do a lot of the engineering work.
Yes,
Inspections. and-
Whenever I build one of these bridges, just like Savile Road that you're talking about, the county not only, the state will reimburse my time, even though I'm on the county's dime and they're paying half of it, they reimburse 100% of my time for doing my own engineering. And so every time I build one of these jobs, I bill the state for about $10,000. And when we did Skyline last year, I billed in for $30,000. And so me being in this position, not taking the health insurance, I actually made the county a profit last year on my engineering time. And so, and last year what they had in my efforts was the gas in my vehicle. And so I'm a bargain.
Their payments coming in on time for what you bill them for your time?
Yes, they, for some reason, they keep that money going. Last year in all of their budget games, without the budget, they held my reimbursement for about 4 months, past what they should have, but once they got the budget in place, then they reimbursed us. So they're not behind on any part of that.
yeah.
Thanks, Steve. Okay. We need a motion then on the resolution setting the salary of the county engineer.
Make a motion to pass the resolution on the salary of the county engineer.
Second. Commissioner Feller?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster? Yes. Commissioner Tiller?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go back up on the agenda to county finances. Have you heard anything there?
Darren said he had a meeting this morning at 9 o'clock in Carbondale, so he wouldn't be able to make it in the beginning of the month, so he doesn't have real accurate numbers yet. So he said he'll be at the next meeting and he'll have a presentation.
We don't have anything this morning under old business, under new business, versus approval of the bills. Does everyone have a chance to look at the bills?
Make a motion we approve.
Second.
Commissioner Feller?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster? Yes. Commissioner Tiller?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman?
Yes, sir.
Next on the agenda is budget discussion.
Just an update on the budget. Been working on it. Had time a couple days this week to devote to the budget. Got quite a bit done. Been trying to go back and look at all the funds that affect the general fund, make sure everything is reflecting how we need it to reflect for 2018. It looks like this year we're going to come in with a surplus where we didn't spend all the money that we budgeted, which will help out a little bit for next year. I still need to get with Scott with regards to the capital, because we were looking into the lease option for the patrol vehicles and find out how much that is. My best estimate for you right now is you're probably at about $100,000 deficit, which includes capital. So before we were at that without capital, now it looks like you're right around hovering that same amount that this is with capital. So we're getting there. I'm ready to start again meeting with you guys, drilling down in it, and hopefully meeting with office holders next week if we can get those set up, if you guys are okay with that.
I'm fine.
Yeah, is the deficit taking into account the money from this year? The surplus?
Yes, you mean using that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. just a little wishful thinking.
Yeah, so we need to look at the capital, and I just have everybody's request, you guys haven't said for sure what you're actually
Right.
giving, so we need to revisit it, see this is what's been requested, and then versus what you guys actually want to approve, so.
Okay. And we're still looking at hovering around 100,000.
Yeah, I think your capital right now is at 100,000. So
Okay.
you're looking for money for capital.
Okay, and
And
that's
that's all
all.
the requests?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, are we, how are we feeling about all the bills that are coming in from last year's budget? Are we pretty well, think we have all those?
No, we give the office holders 15 days in December, so they have about another week to submit any bills still for last fiscal year. So it just depends on,
Which will chink away at our surplus?
it will. The good thing is right now, they can turn in bills for fiscal year 17, they can't buy anything for fiscal year 17.
Right.
We're in 18 now. So we did have some purchases right at the end of November. Probably people having money left in their budget, or just so happens that that's when they needed office supplies. But there were some rather large purchases in November that did eat away a little bit at the surplus.
But at this point, we don't look for any large bills to come in, it's just,
No large purchases because
Right.
it can't happen. I don't know what's outstanding bill-wise. I
Okay.
wouldn't know.
okay. I'm just trying to watch the surplus number to,
Yes.
because that'll reflect. I want that to be as huge as we can.
Yes.
Good
No.
news.
And we did get the money from the circuit clerk
Yes,
for
we
the
did.
child support. So that's all taken care of and that's in there, squared away with that.
Okay, so where we're at is we will start meetings in subcommittees next week and then definitely start talking to the office holders next week.
Yes.
I
And
think that's good.
And last week, Max and I met with 911 also. We met with Crystal and Steve and Grant and talked to them with regards to the amount they pay for dispatch and the fact that they've been paying the same amount for 10 years and kind of just showed them what the true cost of our 8 dispatchers are. And they were open to the idea. They're revisiting their budget to see what they can do. They agreed with the number, it's just they're trying to figure out if they can fit it in the budget.
Yeah, they only have so much to.
But it was a positive meeting, I will
It-
say.
yes, it was.
They were very open and understood what was going on, so.
Well, I guess the good part and the sad part of all this is numbers are numbers. Numbers don't lie. It is what it is.
Right.
Good or bad, however it might be. That's good though. I mean, we'll start next week and start taking care of business.
Anybody else? Next on the agenda, University of Illinois Extension Board appointment and on Ruby, but I think there's some questions that were brought up about that appointment.
Yeah. Ruby Lingle currently serves on our extension council, and state law requires that we have an extension board separate from our council. The way I explained it to Angie was the extension council is like, we do programs, we do education programs, and the council is like the advisory piece of extension to help us with programs. The extension board is like the advisory board on the finance side they're the citizens that hold me accountable for the way that we spend tax dollars. And so the boards, we're to solicit the county boards to ask for you to appoint citizens to this extension board. In the past, I understand you gentlemen, this is a common request of you to always find people to put on boards, and it's not an easy task. So with Ruby being on the extension council, the programmatic side, we're asking that you would appoint her to the extension board. So, you know, her role as a volunteer is already being used, and honestly, what I do is I'll schedule the extension board meeting in front of the council meeting, so then that way they're not having to have excess travel. It just makes it for a more, easier on everybody. So our recommendation is that Ruby be appointed to the extension board as Union County's representative.
Jody, is there any conflict with that on both ends, or being on both ends of that?
No, because it's strictly advisory. I mean,
Okay.
There's no authority that goes along with, I mean, I'm, to using them as a,
But I mean, that, she's not advising herself in those positions?
no,
Okay. All right, I'm just trying to keep it straight.
sure, no, that's a good question.
I think we had some question about the length of the term.
Yeah, and the way the advisory on the programmatic side is two-year terms, and Ruby's is actually about to expire, but I suggested to Angie that we go ahead and make it 2 years, so then that way 2 years from now, then we can bring another person before you and go at that point. So Ruby, if you don't know, she's a retired extension employee, resides in Cobden Alto Pass area, and is recently put on Extension State Advisory Council too. So she's taken on an even greater leadership within Extension as a citizen. So she's to be commended for all her volunteer work.
I know her, and I think she'd be very good. I think we're just trying to tie down some dates here, you know. that-
So yeah, if you make a 2-year appointment, then that would be great.
So, Tyler.
Jody, is this, this is a multi-county extension board?
Yeah,
Okay, so then there's one member appointed by each county?
correct.
Oh, no. And yeah, it looks as though the term is really up to the board, so.
Yeah.
I think a 2-year term makes sense, seems to make sense to me.
Yeah.
She can do it for the next meeting. We can get it prepared for the next meeting.
And that's fine, and really all I need for my evidence is that it's in your board minutes, and then we use that as justification that we need that we're meeting the state requirements. Okay, so thank you for cooperation. If I can have 2 more minutes of your time. One, I got your $40,000 from Union County, and we really appreciate that. I got 3 counties the same day, so.
Don't go wild.
Those are good, so. In November, I participated in a FEMA-sponsored program, and Dana come in, I talked to him the other night. Dana, I'll share this with. Have you heard about CERT program? It's Community Emergency Response Training, and this is going to be geared specifically towards teenagers. And what my hope is, if everybody get a brochure.
Yeah.
Angie, I'll send one to you. Oh, I thought that was Dana. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's a tremendous insult. No. What my hope is in cooperation with Dana, that we can find some teenagers in Union County that would be interested in the program, because then what this does is, we know down here, the next disaster is just waiting to happen. It's not if, but it's when. And disasters come in tornadoes, it comes in ice storms, flooding. And so, if we can have a few of our teenagers that are trained in disaster preparedness and assistance, then that would give Dana another set of volunteers that he could reach out to. So I know that we have some across the 5 counties that are already working with our volunteer fire departments. And so and then another piece of this is to give them an exploration of a career path. They may find that they're interested in pursuing one of these areas, and that's where we can help them out too. So I give this other than just to, help support, if you know of a teenager between the age of 13 or 19, take this to them and say, hey, contact Jody, and let's see if we can get them on a good path to help the community, so.
Is Tanya your liaison for down here? I mean,
Yeah, and the reason why I want to include our ESDA coordinator, well, not just down here. I'm meeting with Jim Haney on Tuesday to let
no, I
him
mean,
know.
just for our county, I mean,
Yeah,
you're,
yeah, that's,
because this is a great program.
yeah. So there's value for the ESDA coordinators. I didn't realize, but they're required to have 3 disaster simulations per year. That's one of the capstones of this program, is that the teenagers get to do a disaster simulation. So our ESDA coordinators, they can check that off their list, as well as help you participate in this, so.
Have you done any outreach
Great
to
idea.
Shawnee School?
To Shawnee? I know I don't.
Okay, the reason I ask that is because during the May flood, and every flood we've had down there, I refer to them as the Wader-clad warriors. I mean, these kids come out of the woodwork, there's an army of them.
Yeah.
And they're very community-minded,
Yeah.
very helpful, and I think.
I
you get a lot of
suspect that some of them are
participation.
probably FFA kids.
Maybe.
Because it seems to be, that's the group that steps forward always, and especially in our flooding. So, is it Oaks? Is that her name? Who's the FFA coordinator now?
No, she's not there anymore.
Oh, okay. So we have worked with Shawnee, Shawnee School District on a number of programs, so, but,
I think it's a great program, Jody.
hey, it's not costing you anything, but I just want to let
It's a
you know.
great program.
The extension service is working for you guys, and, we appreciate your support, always. You don't have any other questions? I'll end my end, so, thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Thank you, Jody.
Carry this table out until the next meeting. On Rudy. Next on the agenda is the proclamation recognizing the Illinois Bicentennial. Raleigh, would you like to give some information on that?
Yeah, the state is really trying to promote the fact that this is the start of the 200th year of Illinois as a state. That the 199th birthday was actually on Sunday. A few municipalities in the state recognized that on Monday and had different flag raising ceremonies. Today we are going to have ours at 11 o'clock, and we'd like to invite all the public to join us there. At that time, we'll be reading this proclamation, assuming it passes today. And this is just something that's recognizing that this is the Illinois Bicentennial Year and encouraging the public to participate in different activities that the state's going to be sponsoring throughout that year.
Has everyone had a chance to look at the resolution? Have a motion to approve.
Make a motion, we approve the resolution.
Commissioner Feller?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster?
Yes.
Commissioner Tiller?
Yes.
Commissioner Cartline?
Yes, sir.
Next on the agenda is a resolution appointing a commissioner, Union County Housing Authority Board. We have a recommendation from the Union County Housing Authority, and Angie, would you like to explain a little bit? There's a vacancy that's been created.
Yes, one of their commissioners is now deceased, and so there is a vacancy on that board. So the Housing Authority took applications from, one of the requirements is one of the members of the board has to be a resident, so they actually have to reside there. So they took applications from residents that were interested, they reviewed them, and they have recommended Norman Neal Poole to finish the rest of that term. The term expires on November the 7th, 2018. So it's just to finish the remainder of the term.
Dan, you're our.
Yeah, they, or we, as that board, like Angie said, we sent out notifications and we asked for people that were interested. We got them and then interviewed and interviewed other people also, you know, in reference to this person and this guy, he's the one that rose to the top. And I support this, nomination.
Any more discussion?
Make a motion, we approve the resolution as written.
Second.
Commissioner Feller?
Yes.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Foster?
Yes.
Commissioner Tiller?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartline?
Yes, sir.
And the name is Norman Neal Poodle. Terry, do you want to do the report?
Got the monthly report for the county clerk's fees. The total came, Alex, I normally give a report for fees every month to the commissioners of what county clerk office has taken in. Some of these fees actually go to the state. Some of the rest of them go into the general fund or the automation funds. If you would like to come by at some time, I can explain to you which ones go where if you want to do that. Total monthly reports, $12,473.50. You have an extra page. This report, we have a year-to-date report, which is $146,050, and then the third page is what we collected for the fiscal year, $165,786.50. A lot of the things up here, I can go through this real quick for Mr. Feller's
Yeah, I
convenience.
think it'd be good.
The county general fund, it gets 50, out of the, I'm looking on the last page for the fiscal year. The county general fund received $54,921. The revenue stamp fund, $40,195. The RHSB, which is a housing fund, which goes to the state, $19,314. The recorder's automation fund, $15,600. Vital statistics automation fund, $1,396. And those are separate funds from the general fund, so those are kept separately from the general fund. Same with the next one, the GIS fund, $26,064. The state death fund, $26.72, that goes to the state also. The domestic violence fund, $750, that goes into the state. The marriage license fund, $3,000, that's the county's. That gives a total down here of $165,786. If anybody ever has any questions on that, you're welcome to come to the office.
Alex, the first time I saw that, I saw the amount at the bottom and thought, man, this is good. We're wrecking it in now. It doesn't work that way. So we don't get that. So.
No chance we can offset payments and stay with this, or?
Next on the agenda is committee reports.
As far as my committee, I don't, but I will say, since we talked about the housing board, that runs very, very smooth. Their meetings are productive. I'm proud to be a part of that board. It does a very good job.
We had a 911 meeting. Crystal, do you want to say something? I know we already talked about.
Pretty well already talked about budgetary. Obviously, the board understands that the county board and the expenses with the telecommunicators. However, I hope the county board also understands we're very limited on our funds, and similar to the county, we don't want to hit our reserves and drain us to nothing if we have a major emergency or equipment failure, if the state decides to change what we get. So Grant, Steve, and I did meet yesterday and went over our current budget, and we're going to reconvene our meeting on Tuesday with the 911 board to discuss and see what they think. So hopefully maybe we'll kind of have an answer for you on Tuesday once the board meets again.
Very good. I'll just say the food pantry truck will be in Monday at 12:30 in case anybody's got a little extra free time. Then we'll have a load truck. We usually get between 5 and 6 tons, and so it gets to get worked out.
I will say, I do want to commend you guys for doing that, because it's very helpful. I talked to Ms. Stairs on that, and it's a very, very good thing, that pantry.
We, there's 7 counties in that, and we have the best food pantry of any county
No doubt.
by far.
And I will say that from that pantry, what we as the board have asked them to do to us, she does a very good job of reporting back on the senior citizen boxes and stuff like that. I think it's a very, very good thing.
The tourism board has canceled their meeting for the month of December, basically because there's nothing on the agenda. So the next meeting will be in January, the third Thursday in January. I think it's the 18th, I believe.
Is there any other business? Probably at the next regular meeting, we'll be setting the dates for the next meetings for the coming year.